An update. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get into the old school, not because it was inaccessible by any means. You could still get in there. It's just for the fact that there's about 3 wild dogs there that I'd rather not, try to fight or engage in general. Look at that nice Corvette. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go inside anytime soon. It looks like they were pretty well at home there. However, I do have pictures of the school from back in the, I believe, fall and winter of 2016, so you can still get an idea of what the school looked like. And of course, I have enough of those pictures I can post that I'll also be able to tell a little about the history at the exact same time. Overall, for this video series, I'm kind of wanting to explore these abandoned places in the state of Mississippi, whose stories have almost been completely lost. And it's a very important way to tell the stories, I guess, would be to actually go inside the area. So this is, I'm 0 for 1 at the moment for that. Oh, look, bridge jumpers here at this bridge. Oh, no, they're fishing. I wonder if they caught anything. But you do see bridge jumpers out here in the Delta who like to jump off bridges and land in the water. Anyway, sorry for the disappointing start to this video. However, I will be able to get back to the apartment later and post the video with the pictures and the voiceover to that. So, but that's the update, and we'll get back to it soon. On the way back, I decided to take another route north, about 20 minutes, to this old state park that used to be a flourishing place, honestly, and before 2011. Of course, the Great Flood of 11 hindered the program here quite substantially, to the point where the water was a good 20 to 30 feet above our heads at the current moment. And honestly, after that, the park just simply never recovered. In fact, the gate has been locked for the past 3 to 4 years, so this is the first time I have had a chance to come this way in that long amount of time. And the roads have been kept up, I think, by the public and the locals around here in this part of the Delta. But this is to give you a sense of how devastating the floods can be for the Mississippi Delta region. This area is about 1.5 to 2 miles of land from the levee to the river. So to give you an idea of how much water pools into that area is an astonishing amount. And on the way back, I'm gonna take a few pictures of the levee so you can see how big the levees are stretching in the Mississippi Delta. This is, see, I have a G35, so my car is not made to go on roads like this, but I might end up getting an adventure bike, or I was thinking about getting a sports bike, but if I'm gonna keep making videos like this, a sports bike honestly wouldn't, do the job. Anyway, as I was saying, on the way out, I will take a nice picture or two of the levees so y'all can see what it looks like from a perspective of, I guess, somebody who's never been down here. And you can tell from the parking spot and stuff, it's been in disarray here following the flood of 11. And this was actually an area that was supposed to be under heavy reconstruction following the 2008 recession. So this is to just kind of give you an idea of how much it has fallen in that amount of time. And this is going to be much more rough on my car now, but this is a little loop area back here. No motor vehicles now beyond this point, so I guess if we're gonna walk down that way, we're gonna have to walk that way, so I'll just park and head down that way. Well, that's a shame. It looks like they actually have just started to breathe some new life into this area. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean it's all complete yet, and you can't get to the riverfront that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive down this way, back the way we came, and see if there's another old road maybe I missed on the way in. However, so once more on the way out, I'm going to film, I guess, how big the levees are. And keep in mind, these levees are 1.5 to 2 miles away from the riverbed, or river itself. So to give you an idea of how much water comes and collects in this area is just incredible. And before the levees, before the 27 flood, all this water would just simply flood on out into the fields. And of course there were devastating floods before, and this is once again why I might need to look at getting an adventure bike or something. Of course there are floods that were horrible before the 27 flood, but the 27 flood was just such, it was the perfect storm for a flood. The way the snow melted in the north with the rainstorms that occurred in the south just produced this fantastic storm that we hadn't seen since 2011. So to give you an idea of why they built these almost 100-year-old now levee structures and systems is because that flood was just so detrimental to the Mississippi Delta region. Economically, and for just the lives of the people that lived in this area. Hundreds of people died, and it was a tremendous event in American history that most people overlook when they start to think of the 1920s. Of course, it is eclipsed by the Great Depression, which occurred in 1929. So, but all this, of course, would impact the Mississippi Delta region, leading it to once more be one of the poorest areas in not just the state of Mississippi, but the United States. So, anyway, I'm gonna keep filming this area on the way out, and then once I'm gonna try to find that other road to get to the old river bend, which, if I remember right, there was a way to get out there where you could take this little tower and climb to the very top, and it was a solid 7 or 8 stories up where you could overlook and see the Mississippi River. But I have yet to find that road, so just hang in there with me. If we don't find it, well, sorry about that. I'll put it in the description below to make sure you don't waste your time if you just came to watch this video to see the river bend. But if you want to hear the story, fantastic. I'm glad you stuck along with me that long. So you can see right here, pre-2008, they started putting in these new light fixtures and stuff, and then they just kind of abandoned the project. So that was kind of cool to see on the way in. So stay tuned, and we'll see if we can find that road. Took a little bit of doing, but I have a hunch that maybe this used to be the old little path to get there. I swear I remember there used to be a way to get to the riverfront. So this looks like it used to be it back in the day. And now that the gates are opened up, you can tell this is old. This might be the old pathway. Obviously my G35 could not make it through this, so we're taking a walk this way. And that would be remarkable if this turns out to be the path, because I remember you could come back this way, so just stick with me. I'm also talking to myself, and I guess you, the viewer, because I'd rather not step on a snake while I'm walking back here. You know, in Mississippi we have the main primary concern are cottonmouths, copperheads, some rattlesnakes, not really, but water moccasins are the ones you gotta look out for. And oh my, there it is. Oh wow. We are getting there. You can see the water from here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I'm gonna stick with this channel for a little while. I'm going to get a better camera eventually. It's just gonna take time, but that's the river. Oh wow, we can keep walking back here. Well, I'm happy that you, the viewer, are experiencing this with me, because it's just me right now. Yeah, it looks like they just cut all this back very recently, which is great, because this was a fantastic park back in the day. Yeah, there's the river. Oh, and there are the sandbanks. Oh my goodness. Yep. That's the river itself. Oh, wow. Okay. So, what we're doing right now is going to be kind of dangerous, but this is a viewer experience, so I want you to witness this with me. I'm also looking out for snakes as I step over this. Oh, wow. There's the banks of the Mississippi. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I'm going to keep moving because the mosquitoes here are quite vicious, and I'd rather not get eaten alive. So, one thing never ever to do, if you do decide to come visit the Mississippi Delta region and the Mississippi Delta, is to ever step foot on these sandbanks. For those of you that are still with me, I ended up cussing in the video, and I want to keep it advertiser friendly and, you know, friendly for everybody who ends up watching it, children, adults alike. So I'm going to cut that part out. what I was saying there is, this is, I thought I stepped on a snake, that's why I cussed. This is the banks of the Mississippi River, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. And now when the river is high, this is all completely submerged underwater. You can tell the waterways that are already here. Now, one important thing to keep in mind if you do come to visit the Mississippi Delta is to never, ever really walk out onto these sand barges. The reason for that is there are some pockets that are filled with air and have a little bit of sand over the top of them. And what could happen is you will fall into it and you can get swept under it and with the actual water that is under the ground. So you never ever want to step foot on these if you do come out to the Mississippi Delta. But I'm going to step back up this hill here so you can get a look at what it looks like. Because what we were looking at wasn't even, whoa, that's a frog. Gotta watch my step here. I don't want to step on a water moccasin. This is just the sand barges, because way out there, that's the actual river. I'm going to try to get my camera to zoom in. That is the river. So that's to give you an idea of how much the Mississippi floods. And when it floods, the place we're standing on right now is engulfed in water, about 20 to 30 feet above our heads currently. So to give you an idea of how strong and how powerful the Mississippi is, that right there should give you a very good idea. And of course, if you look over to where those trees are, that's the Arkansas border. So, and I am getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. So I'm about to wrap this video up and walk on back. And while I do, I'm not going to be filming that because it's just the walk back. But stick with me because I'm going to show you at the very end of this video the levees and how large they are and how far away they are from the actual river that you're looking at right now. So stay with me. I ended up lying. I am going to talk to you on the way back because I don't want to step on, like I said earlier, a snake, and I get to have the chance to tell you a little story. So, good grief, these mosquitoes, y'all. I am getting eaten alive. I did not, one thing to do when you visit the Delta, no matter, I guess, any time in the spring and summer and the fall, just wear mosquito spray or something to keep the bugs off you. There's one last look of this little riverbed. But one thing that I wanted to tell you was, as I said, the local story, when I guess it was 2007, because that was the last real time I got to visit this park, like really experience it. The old, I guess, structure, the 5 to 6 story observation towers, I'm not sure where it is. I guess they tore it down or it just collapsed due to the flooding, but you used to be able to view the river from there. And at that time, it was me, my mother, and my little brother. We decided that, and my father was there actually, we decided that it would be a fun time to go walk out on the actual sandbanks to the Mississippi River. And that story I told you earlier, that warning rather, actually came true. My little brother stepped on a part of the sandbanks that collapsed below his feet, and he jumped, and we were laughing about it like nothing major had happened. And when we got back to the town, some locals were like, "Where'd y'all end up going?" And we told them the story, and we said how fun it was. We got to touch the banks of the Mississippi. You know, just a very special experience. And their expressions were, first off, they were shocked that we did it. And second, I guess they were happy we didn't get hurt, because when they heard about the sand barge or having the sand collapse, their faces absolutely dropped. Like they had, you know, this typical Southern, "Oh Lord, are you all right?" It was a good little time. So anyway, now we're just walking back to the car, and I am gonna drive on out of this little state park area. I'm gonna show y'all what the levees look like, and then I guess we'll head back and I'll put this video together. So if y'all would like to see more stuff like this, please let me know. There are other parks in the state that I could go to that are absolutely breathtaking like this, and there's the G35. And I'd love to go to them. They're always fun. I'm not much of an outdoor person, but from the historical side of things, I always love to go to something that has historical value. So if y'all have any ideas or suggestions of stuff you might want me to do, feel free to drop a comment, and we'll go explore those together. So, all right, I'm gonna get the car started here, and I will see you when I show you, I guess, the levees. Ran into a slight problem. Yeah, the gate to actually leave the park is now locked. So, fantastic. We're just gonna wait it out. I've already called somebody, so don't worry. If you, obviously, I don't think you'd be too concerned since you, the viewer, are safe in your living room, computer room, or whatever room you're in. But I did call somebody to get me out of here, and as soon as I'm out of here, I'll be able to film the levee as I promised. So, stick tight. Really, just, I guess, me stick tight, and I'll have an update with the video very shortly. Right, so we did end up making it out of there. I ended up getting the actual code to get in the gate, and no, I am not going to give out the code on how to get to this river. But, yeah, so we're out, and now this is what the levee looks like coming from the river, and when we cross over the top of this hill, you will see how large these levees are. I mean, my car would definitely crash whenever, and there's a small little town over the top of this hill, and this is the other side of the levee. And now think about this, these levees are secondary levees, and they go all the way up and down the Mississippi River border, so to give you an idea of how large these levee systems are. So I guess that's food for thought. So anyway, it's getting dark now, so there's nowhere else we can really explore for the evening. So we're gonna head on back to town, not this town, another town, and get everything uploaded. And I'll also be having the clips of the old school that burned down that I promised uploaded as well. So stay tuned. One final thing before I leave the video. If you enjoyed the video, I know I'm not gonna try to do this every video. They're just, I guess, a new video. I didn't know what this guy was doing. He was going very slow there, and then he started to stop and start again. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed it. If not, feel free to dislike it. Subscribe if you'd like to see other videos like this in the future, and have a great day. Peace.